Hey everybody, and welcome back to Investment Honey, where we talk about various crypto projects. Before we begin, a couple of reminders that I am not your financial advisor and we never provide any investment advice on this channel. So with that being said, today is going to be more focused on the filters, as opposed to doing a bunch of review, just because we really don't have a lot going on in terms of the review. I will go over a couple of things, and then we'll move into the filters. But if you are new, I would certainly encourage you to go back through the first day of the series, of this Dexscreener series, just so you can kind of get some context into what's going on, why we're doing it, and what the flow of things are going to be. And for anybody that's returning, thank you so much for continuing to support the channel and for continuing to follow along in the series. So what we're going to do, we're going to do some review. We're going to take a look at the alerts, and then we'll see, first of all, what's going on here in the tabs. And then we'll move into the filters, and see what's going on today. We're going to do something a little different, today, for anybody joining us, on what's today. Today's day 11 of this series. So yeah. But either way, with that being said, we're going to take a look here. I've got the tab open here on Aura, which is one that we talked about yesterday. So if we take a look real quick, right away at the alerts, so we can see. Let's see here. We've got both of these disabled, as you can see, which means, obviously both of these triggered. So we saw this one originally at 373K. So this is what the posted market cap was when we found it. And, if you're new, we go ahead and we make sure that in the note section, and here's the note section, you can add a note to your alert, and we'll, so you'll see me talk about alerts, as we go through this. I mentioned this in other videos, that I'm a teacher by trade, and I've been an admin, in schools as well. So you'll see that I'll reinforce, some concepts, because obviously that's how we learn. So please just bear with me as some things, get repeated, especially for those of you that have been following along, since the first day of the series. Now, this one, it was supposed to trigger when it went over 425K. This one was supposed to trigger when it went under 300K. Okay, and obviously we saw this at 373K. So this obviously, diverted, back down quite a bit, for it to trigger, under 300K. So, but with that being said, since we saw this at 373K, we can see right here in terms of the price, information, we're at 294K. So that's 0.002948. So if we saw this yesterday at 373, yesterday would have been the 18th. So we would have been somewhere in this arena. So obviously we can see that it still managed to go up a bit. At one point touched over 500K. And, even here, we're still, close to that 500K mark, so didn't quite get to a 2X, on this one before it, really just retraced, pretty hard. But again, when we set these alerts, we're setting them as indicators, so that we can decide, what we want to do, whether it's to watch the chart a little bit more, whether it's to take a position or so forth, so, but again, this one, did make some movement, after the time of setting up the alert. And then, it retraced, pretty hard, here to around 184K. Went back up, to over 400. And now we're sitting here where it looks like there's been some consolidation, close to 300K. So again, this is one that we talked about yesterday, and it's good to see that it had some movement. But it still looks like, there's still interest in this token. Obviously, what we would normally do, we'd go ahead and take a look, at the Telegram, see what's going on there, see if the community is still participating, see what they're doing in terms of, trying to get additional exposure, for the token and so forth. So, but yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and bring that up real quick. Now, as far as the alerts are concerned for this one, yes, I will still want to watch this. Now, obviously, this is still above that 300K mark. So what we're going to do, we're going to adjust this. I think now, let's set it to 250. Maybe I want to know, what's going on with it, if it goes under that mark. We're going to change the note here since the posted market cap, is different. And obviously, like I said, with these alerts, you definitely want to make sure that, you understand this is a fluid process. So as the alerts get triggered and you need to make adjustments, whether it's to the posted market cap, or to, those alerts that you're setting, as far as whether it goes over or under the alert, you definitely want to make those adjustments, especially if you continue to want to watch, and haven't decided to take an entry. Should you decide to do so, this is where these alerts can be very helpful in making some kind of informed decision, as far as that's concerned. So we're going to save this now. So obviously you can see now that this one, the under alert, is now active again. Now obviously when it gets triggered, it's going to go back to disabled. So here on the over, we definitely want to adjust our posted market cap. So we are setting this at 294K. And for this one, since we're sitting at 294, I don't know, let's do 325. Let's set it at 325. Okay, so this one now, so now both of these alerts are active again. All right, so we're going to close this one out. And this is a token that I took a look at yesterday. Now, if you take a look, and this is not one that we talked about, you know, in the video that was done yesterday. This is one I found later on. Okay, and when I set the alert initially last night on this one, I found it at 780K, and then I didn't set 2 alerts. I set 1. So I wanted to know, because there's a lot of activity, you know, in the chat. A lot of rating participation, you know, from the community that was going on. And it did look, you know, I had a very positive sentiment, you know, about this one yesterday. So I set it for the market cap going over 3 million. Now, here's what happened. Even though I saw it at 780K, it went over 1 million. And as soon as it went over 1 million, it retraced really, really hard. And then it went over 1 million again after heavy retracement. And, you know, so yeah, there was, it hit 1 million, then went back down, and then it hit 1 million again, and then went back down. So at that point when it was going down, I mean, it went down to like, I think it was like in this area right here, it went down to like under 300K. You know, and so at that point, you know, I just stopped watching it because it was like, you know, it was getting late. So, but what it's done since then is really kind of in this arena right here. It rallied and then it went down again. You can see here, and then it rallied up again. So this has kind of been, you know, the story of this token. So, because here, right in here is basically, you know, this starts today. So, where it's gone up, came back down, made, you know, rallied. I think, you know, it almost touched almost 1.6 million today. And then you can see heavy sell candles. And so, you know, a lot of retracement right now. So I don't know. At this point, I'm just watching this token. Yeah, we see, you know, big sell retracement, but saw that last night here and big sell retracement, and then it rallied. You know, so the community didn't give up on this. So that's kind of my curiosity with this token. Haven't taken an entry in it, you know, whatsoever, but I've continued to watch it, and I'm just putting it on your radar as well, as this is something that I'm watching. Now, obviously, when we look over here in this informational area, we can see negatives across the board outside of the 24-hour. But like I said, this reminds me of what I saw here yesterday. I'm not saying that it's going to go back up. I'm not saying that at all. But I am curious, you know, about this. So I figured that I'd go ahead and I'd mention it, you know, in today's video. I am going to set 2 alerts, you know, on this one, because obviously now we're sitting at a much lower market cap than the 780K that I saw this at initially, you know, yesterday. So let's go ahead and just do this here. I'm going to edit a number of things here. So the 780K, we're sitting right now. This is saying 374. Remember that this is delayed, okay? So I tend to pay a little bit more attention to the tab. Tab is saying 404, now it's saying 387. So we're going to set it at 387. Okay, and this one is an over. So let's set this at, because actually I want to see it really get out of that red arena. So we're going to set this at 450. Okay. Actually, no, that might be a little high in terms of this one. So let's do it, set it 425. And remember, these are indicators, you know. So the reason why I'm thinking 450 might be a bit high is because I'm really just looking for an indicator to see that it's actually going to break out of that red, you know, heavy sell retracement area. So 425, you know, I think would tell me that, or at least give me an idea whether it's headed, you know, out of that arena. And then we're going to set one, you know, in the, all right, we got to go to market cap. We're going to set one under. Okay, so the note needs to be 387. I know that it's gone up a little bit, you know, but we're still going to leave it at 387. And here, if it goes, I'm going to set it at 300. Let's see, 300, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so if it goes under 300, definitely I'll take another look, because like I said, I think at one point yesterday it was in the 200s, like 250, something like that. So, and it did a great job to move from the 200s area all the way back well over 1 million today. So I'm not saying that it's going to do that twice. It takes a lot from the community to really move out of this kind of, oh my gosh, there's so many, people that are just selling it off, are we going to be able to recover? And then you get people that are just hoping that it goes back in, so they've really put a lot of work, into getting out of this arena here as it rallied today. And my curiosity is whether they can actually do the same. That I don't know. So we'll see. Okay, so that's actually going to do it for Cat AI. The other thing I can do, we can check out the community real quick since I've talked about it, here on the video. So we'll go ahead and we'll go into the Telegram just to see what's going on. And, for this one, I'm already in it, but I'll re-verify anyway. So just so you can go through the process, seeing what's going on here. So obviously, since the last time I went into the Telegram, they've had over 1,800 messages. That's a ton of messages, a ton of activity, for a token. Like I said, there was a lot going on, in this yesterday. So that's part of the reason why I continue to take a look at it and kind of follow what was going on here. So we're going to go all the way down to here. They were trending earlier, so they're not doing that now. But we can see that the market cap, obviously has gone up, since I showed you, back out here on Dexscreener. So actually, we're going to close this out. All right, so we're going to go back in, okay? And so there are pinned messages. Sometimes in Telegram can be weird about this, but if you don't necessarily see a pinned message, what you can do is you can close out Messenger and then come back in. If it's still not showing pinned messages, it probably means there are no pinned messages. But what I tend to find is that, especially, knowing that I've been in this particular, channel yesterday, there are pinned messages. So just be aware of that. Not sure, why that happens with Telegram, but it does. Okay, so with that being said, now we've got, what is it, 17, 18, new messages. So like I said, this is a very active, channel as far as, what's going on from the community and, even with respect to buys. So, I mean, you want to see buys and sells, but the question here is, can it actually survive, this big sell-off and head back up? That we don't know, but that's why we set the alerts. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to head into, like I said, I'm not a real big review day. Yesterday was a pretty, large review day. I think it was over 20 minutes in review. This one, we're not going to spend that much time doing review. Now, I did say we're going to do something a little different. So what we're going to do, because normally I would just go straight into the filters, but we never pay attention to the front page here, and that's something that I want to do. So we're not going to do anything in terms of customization yet. What we're going to do is I'm going to adjust this by the 24-hour, and this is covering every chain right now. Okay, so I don't know if I'm going to leave it that way or not, just because there are chains that we're not covering, in terms of the meat of the series, but we'll just take a look here. And keep in mind, these are very, very new tokens. Okay, so but sometimes, and the reason why I wanted to at least highlight it today, sometimes you can see some stuff, in here. In full transparency, that's where I saw Cat AI yesterday. Was just looking at the front page, and I was like, you know what? Hey, we never talk about it, in the video series, so maybe we should. So it's not something I think. I mean, I haven't made a determination whether I'm going to continue to do it or not, but at least I want to show it to you, here today. And I don't know what I'm going to see. So if I see something where, maybe I might need to go ahead and cut out some part of the video, I'll do that. But either way, just wanted to go ahead and show you this here. But like I said, the main thing is, on this front page, when you go to Dexscreener, it is completely unfiltered and no filters are being used. And the only thing that I've decided to do is to check the 24-hour, which is I want to see the tokens with the largest amount of growth. Okay. Now, what I will say about Cat AI, and I'll go ahead and I'll bring that chart up real quick, again, is that getting in like super early, here's the problem with that. Saw it at 780K. Who would have thought that it would have dipped all the way down into the 200K arena? So that's one of the disadvantages sometimes of getting into these tokens when they're super new, because you may be getting in at a higher position and before anybody's really had any big sell-offs, which is also the advantage to looking at them a little bit later on, where we talk about maybe looking at a token that's been alive for 12, 13, 14, 15 hours, where there's already been time, for likely a larger sell-off, you might be able to, look at a lower entry, right? So if we'd set this up to look at it maybe 15 hours in, our entry wouldn't have been as high as like, in the 700, 800K area. It would have been much lower. So just keep that in mind. That's something else to think about. And that's something I think about in terms of, when I look at tokens as well. So factor that in as you are going through your own discovery process, whether it's filters or not. Okay, so here we go. We're going back. All right, so we're just going to, open up some of these and see what's going on. Now, I don't want to look at anything that's like, super crazy, on the market cap. 100 million is just, crazy to me. So, I mean, as we look at some of these that have some of these, really, really, large gains, we can take a look at their charts, but I'm just going to tell you that I think if you're looking at something that's, within the first, like in this case for Wilder, it's only been alive for 4 hours and it's already at 100 million. I would personally, if it's me, want an earlier entry than that. So, and we're only going to take a look at a couple of these. So this one's pretty high on the market cap. We'll take another one that's a bit lower. Let's see, Superman's dog. Okay, this is 1 million. And I'll tell you what, we'll take one that's under 1 million as well. Let's see, Fart Tua. So yeah, there's been a lot of fart coins going on lately, so not really sure about this farting meta, but it is what it is. Unicorn Gold, no. Let's see here. Let's take a look at another one. No Jeets. Okay, let's take a look at No Jeets. Okay, so here we go. This one again, crazy high on the market cap, but you can see right away, what was this? This one was a rug, right? Obviously, minus 98% on the 1 hour chart. And again, I've told you guys so many times in different videos on the series that if you look at newer tokens, you're going to inevitably run into a higher frequency of scams. It's just going to happen. And that's also the reason why I typically don't look at a lot of super fresh tokens. Just because, again, you are going to run into more scams, but you can filter through them, the ones that, are scams, and just, try to weed through the ones that aren't versus the ones that are. Okay, so this one obviously we don't care about, and that one again, you're looking at a market cap that was over 100 million on the last one. This one is called crypto. Okay, Superman's dog. All right, so this one right here, if we go to the 1 minute chart pattern, it doesn't look bad. Okay, and we've got some socials here, so we can also see what's going on, here in the buy transactions. We don't always take a look at bubble maps, but I'll tell you what, we'll take a look at bubble maps on this one just to see what's going on. So remember, bubble maps, it does take a little minute to load. So here we go. The bubble maps actually looks, pretty good. It looks like, small wallets, and maybe they've got a max, in terms of how many tokens you can buy, which is always helpful. So yeah, under 2%, so I don't see any clusters, looking at the map, so this looks pretty good. All right, so, and then let's also take a look at what's going on in their community. Okay, so here we go. We get a portal, which is always good to see. All right, so, and here it says that we don't have permission to create the link, so even though there's a portal, apparently the portal doesn't work, so if we go back out here and I will try it one more time, okay, that would be a red flag to me that, we've got a portal, but you can't actually access the Telegram. Yeah, so, all right, so we're going to see if this works. It didn't give us this before. Okay, it does. All right, so sometimes if it doesn't work, try it again. Now, here's the other thing. We've gone in. There's literally no activity, in this channel. So that, verifies it for me. Red flag, not something that I would continue to engage with. 46 members, 49. This could have been something, that, and I don't know if, because remember we're looking at all the tokens, from every chain. So I don't know if this was, the chain was this on. This was Sol. So this could have been actually a pump fund, token. And if it is, sometimes pump fund doesn't always have, telegrams. And so if that's the case, maybe after it migrates from bonds, gets over to Radium, then they'll go and they'll open up a telegram just to say that they've got one, but there's nothing going on in there. That could be the scenario here, but I don't know. That's just pure speculation on my part as far as this particular token is concerned. So what we're going to do is we're going to, okay, so we got somebody typing here. So maybe I'll go ahead and I will, let's see here. Okay, so there's activity. I'm not sure what was going on there. All right, so this says 1104. All right, okay, so there we go. So either way, we didn't have anything going on before. Now there's some chat going on, but like I said, this could have been a token that bonded from a pump fund, and they're just trying to go ahead and get something started, in the channel. This is one maybe, maybe you watch, maybe, I don't know. But it's good to see at least now that there is some activity. So, this stuff is fluid, guys, so either way, it didn't look like this was going to be, anything that was going to show any positive, kind of, signals for me in terms of, continuing to follow along with this one, but maybe. So I'll tell you what, since we are seeing some activity in the channel right now, what I will do, just out of sheer curiosity, we're going to keep an eye on this one, okay? So we'll set some alerts on this one. Remember, we're starting off with market cap. I don't pay attention to the price in USD, and I also don't pay attention to the price of the native token. Market cap is easier to follow, so we're still sitting. Oh, we're not sitting at 1.4 million on the market cap anymore. This has moved to. This is saying 1.7. This is saying 1.693. Still about the same anyway. So 1.7 million is what we're going to put here in the note, and we're going to look for a retracement of 1.7. Let me take another look. Let me see. I can't move this window, so we're going to close out of this real quick. So it's still super early on this one. Let's see. It's been alive for 4 hours. Do I think there could be heavy retracement on this one? I do. So I'm actually going to set something. I'm going to set a 1 million retracement on this one. That may seem kind of crazy for some of you guys, but I'm going to set a 1 million retracement, okay? Because like I said, even when I use that Cat AI token as an example, it had heavy retracement, and that token had actually been alive even longer than this one. So yeah, so we're going to set this at a 1 million retracement. So that's what I'm going to set for me. I just think that at this point, it's been going up. It's been going up. There are people that got in this early that probably haven't sold. I think this is likely going to see, some big retracement at some point. I could be wrong, but we'll see. So, actually, sorry, I did this yesterday. It should be goes under. Okay, so we're going to set that correctly. All right, so then we're going to set, this is the over. We're going to set our note here. And then this one, we'll set it at, I don't know, let's go for 2.3 million on, on what we want to see in terms of an indicator, for the upward pattern. Now, obviously, it's still going up right now, but like I said, I believe there's going to be retracement, and it's a fluid process, guys. So we'll go ahead and we'll adjust this as need be, as far as this one's concerned, assuming that this remains a healthy token. Because like I said, right away, I wasn't so sure. So we're good to go here. All right, create the alert, goes over. Market cap 1.7, 2.3. Oh, that's the reason why. I keep forgetting that I can't actually write words in there. I'm so used to doing it in my bot that, it's just a natural thing for me to go ahead and write in 2.3 million, or utilize the words as I'm setting the targets. So, all right. So either way, and this is on our 1 minute, tick. If you look at the 5 minute here, you can see, and I've told you guys in another video, I'm not crazy, about the tokens, that have this there, pattern with respect to an entry. Now, as far as, does this look healthy? Yes, especially when you look at it on the 1 minute, it looks healthy. But on the 5 minute, if I were somebody looking for a potential entry on this, there's no way on earth I'm looking to go ahead and take an entry at the top of this candle. That is insane. Okay, because look right there, there was a big sell right there, so you're automatically in a loss, and so it doesn't make any sense to buy the top. There's going to be more retracement on this, because this kind of chart cannot, you can't sustain this. There are too many people that got in earlier, and they're going to go ahead and sell. So just keep that in mind. On the 15-minute chart, it looks even more ridiculous. You know what I mean? I mean, it looks great in terms, if you're down here and you're like, yeah, absolutely, you want to see this. You want to see more buys, right? But if you're looking for an entry, and like I said, we'll go back out to the 1 minute, you want to see people continue to sell. So this is a sell candle. We want to see, a larger sell candle, at least for me personally, if I were to go ahead and look at, taking an entry into this. Because right now, it's just, this is, like, if you look at the 5 minute, you look at the 15 minute, I mean, that's not the kind of candle you want to see in terms of being able to take a buy position. Now I get it, somebody's always going to buy the top, but at the end of the day, if you're looking to take a position, in something like this, you obviously want to see, a better entry than this kind of candle right here. Okay, so we're going to leave this one alone. We've already set the alerts. Okay, and then in this one here on the no JITs. Okay, so we're looking at the 15 minutes. Let's see what it looks like on the 1 hour. So we've got some pretty heavy retracement, but they had a pretty good, buy candle, or green candle heading up right here. And if this is at 391, then this looks like this already touched basically around 1 million. Okay, so let's take a look. They've got some socials, so we're going to see what's going on in the Telegram on this one. Okay, so we're set. We got a portal. Hit the start button, and we get our link. So let's see. This looks like it's also CTO, so they've got a VC going, 30 members. That's actually pretty encouraging. Let's see when the last buy was. So they're also trending 11:10. That was a minute ago. Pretty decent buy, as well. So there's some buying activity. What's going on in the pinned messages? Okay, a lot of pinned messages, here. So they're ranked on Dexscreener. Okay, so it looks like they've got some people forwarding, the fact that they went ahead and they posted, the token to their communities. Okay, so trending slot, so again, this is a SPY DeFi trending, so clearly they're investing, some money, into this particular token, so with that being said, this is probably one, to pay attention to, even though there is heavy retracement here. We'll take a look at the 15. It doesn't look as bad, on the 15 or on the 5 likely. But if you look at the 1 hour, I mean, it looks like it's a really, really heavy sell candle, right? So either way, right now, I think, because you got these minuses across the board here, other than, the 24 hours. So as far as like an alert, we'll set the under first. So we're going to go here, under, and we're at 382. This is showing 382. This is showing 389. So we're going to do 382K. Oops. Okay. All right. So there we go. And I'm going to set this for 300 actually. Now, I could be wrong, because again, they're already, I probably am wrong because they're already in heavy retracement. So we're going to just set it at 350. 350 will probably make a bit more sense because there's already been so many sells. That's the reason why I'm adjusting my thinking on that. So, and then we're going to also do this. Okay, so we got that 382, and I know it's already moving, it's moved down a little bit, but we're still going to keep the 382. Let's see this get to 415. 415. All right, so there we go. So we're going to create that alert. Okay, so we've set those alerts on that. Now, like I said, as far as the main page, a lot of tokens, different chains. We happen to just come across, a chain that we typically talk about, which is Solana. Okay, but they've got all the different chains, in here, right now. So, and you can, as you scroll through here, we see a lot of Solana, but again, and there's a Uniswap one right there. Here's one that's on Binance or the BSC network, so again, you can see all of that just scrolling through their main page unfiltered. Okay, but what's our point? Our point is we actually want to set some filters. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the customization here. You guys know I don't really care about seeing some of this stuff, the price, transactions, maker, and volume. I care a lot about the 5-minute, 1 hour, 6 hour, and 24 hour. And I don't really care about the liquidity just because, we always keep 1,000 in liquidity as far as the filters are concerned. So we're going to apply that. So it changes our screen a little bit. And then on the filters, since we already saw a couple of Solana tokens, we're going to look at ETH and see what's going on there. Okay. Again, we're not touching liquidity. Market cap, we're going to set that at 50,000. We'll go to million today. All right. So there we are. Pair age. We're going to look at least 15 hours to 48 hours. Okay. And let's see here on the change. We're going to go to 10%, at least at minimum 10%, on a change in the price. All right. So we've already got this 24-hour ticked. Okay, so, and the other thing that I'm finding, a lot of these that don't have some kind of image here, they're likely to probably be scams, so I can open it and we can see if it has socials or not, but I was taking a look at that yesterday and I'm like, there appears to be some level of consistency that we probably want to avoid the ones that don't have a picture, okay? So we'll open some of these up and we don't always come across this where we see two of the same. But you can see they're two different tokens because one's at 209, one's at 218. So, but there we go. So we open all of them up, and let's see what we got going on. So this one right away, no picture, no socials. It's a scam. Okay, you can tell by the chart pattern, and we're at the 5 minutes. Wouldn't really change much on the 1 minute, and then we can see just this buy transaction area right here, no sells. So more than likely it's probably a honeypot. Okay, so just to make my point, that we probably want to avoid the ones that don't have a picture. All right, so let's go to the 15-minute on this one, and then we're going to take a look here. All right, so that one's okay. We got socials here. We got socials on this one. All right, we got socials here, and you can see again they're two different tokens, but they're the same thing. So here in this one, I think this was another one, Alf. Let's see, did it have a picture? No picture. So again, want to probably avoid the ones that don't have a picture. So we hadn't talked about that before, but I thought about it yesterday. I said, I think, why do we keep running into some of these that are, not mintable, or, and there was something else. And what I was discovering is that the ones that do not have a photo, typically are scams. Now, I'm not sure that that's an absolute, but I was finding some consistency with that yesterday, after I did the video. So, and then here with Byte. All right, so either way, I think all the ones we've got open now, they do all have socials, so, and I think the charts, we're okay. So we're going to take a look, we're going to go into each one of those tokens, each one of these in terms of their channels, and see what we can find, and see what we think, in terms of whether we want to proceed, with setting some alerts. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to into their portal, get our link, and join the group. Just over 700 members in this one. So we see that we're sitting here at 267, 586, 1114. Last buy was 3 minutes ago. That works for me. That's within my 10-minute buy window. Okay, so looking at the pinned messages, I'm not really seeing anything here yet in terms of marketing and exposure for the token. Looks like a pretty quiet, channel actually. They've applied for CoinGecko. We've got somebody typing there. At least they were typing. There's a demo video that's live, white paper. We haven't really run into a lot of tokens, where we've seen a white paper. This is renounced, LP lock information. So yeah, and only one message, since we've been in here, so this is one, personally, one, I'd want to see more activity in the channel. Two, I'd want to see, something going on that engages the community in terms of exposure. I want to see information from the team in terms of what are we going to do to continue to, increase exposure for the token, which obviously helps anybody that has decided to invest in this token. So yeah, for this one personally, I am somewhat curious just because they're still getting buys and the chart looks pretty decent, outside of, this pretty big retracement from here. So my question is, can they continue to do what they're doing or not? And that I don't know. So just out of curiosity, they are still all green, across the board here. I will set some alerts, for this one, because again, I'm kind of curious. We're going to set the under first, and we are currently at 267. So 267K is where we're going to set that at. I'm not really interested in setting an up alert on this one just because, the chart's already in an upward trajectory. If it goes down, I think to where I may set this under alert, then if it goes, if it continues to retrace, then I might be interested in setting an up alert for at that point, depending on whatever I see going on in the channel, if I think that it's got any kind of potential to continue to head back up. Okay, so for right now, I think what we're going to do here, we're going to set this at 200K because I think there's a possibility that this could go back down. So you saw the big retracement here, even after the buy pressure here, you see retracement here. Now it's headed back up, but I think there is a high likelihood that this will come back down. Is it going to touch 200K? That I don't know. But again, it is an indicator. So that's what I'm interested in. I'm interested to see if this heads back down. Now, if I continue to see a pattern, where there's sell pressure and continued buy pressure, even though they're really not doing much in the channel to go ahead and communicate what they're going to do to increase the exposure of the token, that may be something worth looking at, just because it's like, what is it that I don't know about this that is continuing to lead to people taking an interest in buying this token? So, okay, so that's where we're going to leave that one. Now on AX or AIXY, give me a second, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, so with that being said, we are going to go ahead and take a look, at their channel. I don't mind what I'm seeing here on the chart, but again, we've got, big. We had a pretty decent, launch candle, retracement, kind of sat flatter, for a little bit, went back up, on this sharp, buy candle here, retracement, seemed to recover, retracement, recovery, sharp, sell, retracements, and then obviously there's a sharp, buy pressure, right here, or buy candle right here. So I'd be interested to know, like, what's going on, in this token leading to, what I'm seeing here on this chart, So here we go. We're going to check out the channel and see what we've got going on in here. Okay, so we're entering the portal, get our link, and we join the group. We've got just over 380 members in here. They're doing some rating. Okay, they are getting, some participation, from their community. Let's see here. They've got, VC scheduled for later today. Okay, so let's see what's going on here in the pinned messages. So they've got a tutorial here, in terms of how to go ahead and use their platform. Okay, and then they submitted an application to CoinGecko, updated their DEX tools, team tokens are vested. They updated Dexscreener. Okay, the DEX has been paid. Okay, so I mean, there's definitely some decent information. Here they talk about the liquidity being locked and it being renounced, as well. So yeah. So this is one I definitely think I'd be interested in keeping an eye on. So we're going to close out that, and we're going to set some alerts here. We're currently sitting at 99K. That seems, pretty early for any token, honestly. So we're going to go to market cap, and we're going to put our 99K in here. Okay, so we're going to save that or copy that. All right, and for the over on this one, I am interested in setting an over alert. So let's set this at 125. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. And like I said, I've mentioned this before, guys. I don't know who is deciding to copy the alerts. You can feel free to copy my alerts, or you can set some different alerts or look at different tokens, based on just using the parameters that I've set for the filters that were used today. You can adjust those as needed, to go ahead and see. Maybe there's some different tokens. Maybe you want to look outside of the 50 to a million, market cap range that I set. Maybe you want to look at something, further out, but like I said, or lower, that's up to you. So everything that I'm doing here is just kind of giving you an idea of what you can do on your own as well, or you can just do what I'm doing too. Because obviously there has been a benefit, some of the other videos that we've gone over, in terms of, just simply copying some of the alerts that I've made here in the video, or in the videos, in the series. So we're going to create the alert. This is the over. All right. So we're going to put in our note and under. And so let's set this at, I don't know, let's go to 70K on this one. Okay. So now we've got both of those. They're both active, as you can see. All right. And we're going to close that out. Okay. So there we go. And now we're here at Liandong. Remember, we've got 2 of these. Okay. So I'm kind of curious. What I would almost venture is that they might be leading to the same, the same group. Now, both of these are boosted at 500. You can see the boost here, it's at 500. You can also see the boost here, it's at 500. But this was sitting at number 2, and this was sitting at number 6. So I am curious to see, like, if they'd actually be going to the same Telegram group, but I don't know. All right, and so this one, you can see what's going on here in the chart. So it launched, wasn't really, heavy activity on the launch. They, had a healthy rise up and then some retracement, bottom levels here. And this is the lowest point on the chart, so it's just been higher lows, from here. So, and then a pretty good run, right here. So do I think that there's a possibility for another run? I mean, I need more information to be able to come to that conclusion, but it's possible. So, all right, let's take a look, in the channel. So, and, let's see here. I want to go back out here real quick. So you can see this is the address, for this particular channel. Okay. So here we're going to go back into Telegram. And then do we get a portal on this one? You don't. So this is, oh, yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Sorry, I completely missed that. So we do get a portal here. Okay. So we're going to go in and let's see. Let's see. 1,252 members. Okay. All right, so the last buy looks like it was recent, trending. 11:25, that was 1 minute ago. Okay, anything going on here? So, all right. I mean, a lot of messages, here in terms of their pinned message. So, okay, and this is all land dog stuff. So, okay. And obviously, what they're doing in terms of exposure, they're trending right now, so I don't really see anything going on in terms of, raids, for the community. So, okay, so I'm going to leave this one open because what I'm curious about is the next one. So I haven't set any alerts on this. Okay, and I'm going to leave this one open so we can compare. All right, so here we go. This one's in the down pattern. So we're going to click on the channel here. And the question is, did it take us back to the same thing? So yes, the exact same channel. Right? I think so. Yeah. So this one is this right here, Land Dog ERC, and this one, Land Dog ERC. So that's really interesting. So when we go to the channel, what does it do? It opens up the verification for the same channel that we were in. Two different tokens being run from, that are associated with the same channel, which is kind of odd, right? Okay, so we can click on the verification, but if I'm correct, we should see the exact same thing. So, all right, so let's see here. All right, so there we go. We get that. And yeah, it took us right back into, or actually, let's see, is this different? No, it's the same one. So unread messages, okay. And 11:25, yeah, it's the exact same channel. So that's kind of odd, right? So as far as this one's concerned, I mean, clearly, they're for the same channel, but they're two different tokens. So I couldn't even tell you, when I see stuff like this, I don't really mess with it just because at the end of the day, I don't necessarily see it as a transparent thing. I don't see it as a positive thing when you've got two tokens associated with the same telegram. You can watch it for whatever it's worth, but for me personally, I don't typically mess with, stuff like that. So, but it is something I want to highlight here, as part of like context, during the video, that you may run across that, where you see, as we're going through Dexscreener and we're looking at different filters, that you may see multiple tokens actually connected to the same telegram. And I don't particularly like to see stuff like that. So, watching tokens like that is definitely a no for me. So, but either way, obviously we pointed that out, in the course of this video. So it's still up to you what you'd like to do. But for me personally, I'm not going to go ahead and, continue to track a token, that has that kind of thing going on for it. Now, this one, when we look at Byte here, here's my concern. My concern is, a pretty strong, launch candle, heavy retracement, recovery, and then we've got this stair, pattern in terms of the chart. And this kind of thing, to me, when you got this pattern going on, it's super risky because you could be somebody that buys in and then all of a sudden there's a huge sell-off, right? Because let's be honest, somebody got in right here. All right, so let's go ahead and let's make this a bit bigger so we can see what's going on with the chart. Somebody got in over here, okay? And there have been continued buys, some sells, but nothing crazy, but buys, right? So whoever got in this area, they're up. They're up pretty decently, So we're sitting at what's our market cap? 788K. And that's what this is saying. And you can see this is not the same, right? So we're actually, we're going to have to rely more on this than looking at this because they're not lined up as they normally would be in so many other tokens that we've seen. But my point is that somebody got in here, and what I would suspect is that there's going to be some pretty big sells at some point. So for something like this, assuming everything is okay in their channel, if I were to set an alert, it would absolutely be an under alert as opposed to an over alert, because what I believe is that this is likely to go down at some point, which would make for a better entry if I were to be interested in jumping into this one. Now, the other thing that I could do is, especially if I was utilizing a bot, which I certainly encourage all of you to do if you are going to trade, which is why I leave that Maestro bot link, in the description, of every video that I do. If it was me, this is what I would do. I would go ahead and place a buy of like maybe $1, on a chart like this, like something super small. And then what I would do is I would set a dip alert in the bot, which you can in Maestro. Set a dip alert, set whatever amount it's going to be. That would be my larger buy. And then set the threshold. Your threshold is going to be what market cap you think it's going to dip down to trigger that buy, that dip buy through the bot. And so the nice thing about setting something like that is that you don't have to do it manually. You're setting the bot up to watch this token for when it should trigger. And it'll even tell you in the bot that this buy will take place when it dips to whatever threshold you set in the bot. Okay. So currently we're setting at 788K. And like I said, I think it's going to retrace, quite a bit at some point. So maybe I might set it at least a 50% retracement, which would be somewhere around in the 400K area, right? So that's what I would do if it was me, okay? So what we're going to do, because all of that doesn't really matter if everything looks crazy in the chat, so I'm going to take a look at the channel, and if everything works out there, if it was me, that's what I would do, on a chart like that. If I had to go ahead and put a buy in there, I would absolutely start out small, and then I would set a buy dip alert, in the bot. Okay, so here's where we're at. We got 884 members. Where this is, we've already joined their channel. Okay, so I don't see a buy yet. We're 9:56, and it's 11:33 on my clock. So 9:56 is already outside of my window in terms of being interested in this and something like this, because I want to see nothing more. If a buy is going to be more than 10 minutes out, from my current time, then I'm not going to be interested. And you guys have seen me, talk about that, in other videos that we've done in the series. So, okay. So for this one, we can see what else is going on, here in the, in terms of their pinned messages, but for me, like I said, outside of 10 minutes, wouldn't be interested. So that's just my own personal preference. So we're going to leave that one. We're going to head back out to here, and that's going to do it, for me in terms of today's video. But like I said, and when you're looking at charts like this, if it is a legitimate token, and you still want to take some position just in case this continues to go up, and you don't want to continue to watch this, especially let's say you've got other things you need to do, that's where a bot is absolutely wonderful, especially Maestro. And that's the one that I tend to think, amongst all the bots I've used, really works the best for me, because I haven't had any issues in terms of it being compromised, in over a year of usage. So, but again, that's just my experiences and I'm sharing with you. But yeah, I love their buy dip function, where you can set the threshold and it'll go ahead and watch the chart for you, and it'll trigger that buy, assuming that you do hit that threshold, where you want to make a larger buy or whatever entry you want to make into the token. Okay, so with that being said, thank you so much, guys, for watching as always. I'll be back tomorrow, with another video, assuming everything works out for me tomorrow and there aren't any things that get in my way in terms of trying to get a video out to you guys. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and as always, just be careful, as you do, engage in any trades, so I try to go ahead and put out information in as best as I can, where I'm going to put you in front of stuff that may have potential. And I try to educate you along the way, and that's really kind of the central point, of doing this Dexscreener series, making sure that you guys know how to go out there and look for early opportunities so that you're not, waiting on somebody else that's already showed them to their communities and, creating a situation where you're having to look at a token at a much higher entry point than you should be. Thanks so much again. You guys enjoy the rest of your day.